Hey Stampers, happy Monday. I'm Meg from LovenStamps and welcome to Maker Mornings with Meg. I am here on this sunny day to share a sunny springtime project with you. We are going to use the Daffodil Daydream stamp set, which is in the, I want to call it the Occasions catalog because we called it that for so long. The January through June mini catalog. And this one is a favorite. It has a set of dies that go along with it. It's my feature for February, so I've got tutorials on this one. But the paper that I wanted to show you is coming to an end because Sale-a-bration ends on February 28th, so you have 7 days left. And this is the Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper. Oh, this one's kind of upside down. Here's the back side of these, kind of the neutral patterns and so forth. And the papers are absolutely beautiful. I will admit that while I love bright colors and patterns, hence the shirt, the paper here didn't jump out at me because it uses vanilla as its neutral color rather than basic white. And I'm just not used to seeing that right now. And you know, your eye kind of gets used to seeing something. So when I first saw this, I thought, okay, it's all right. But I have absolutely fallen in love with this, and I will be really sad when I can't get it anymore as a demonstrator after February 28th. So get your Daffodil Daydream paper. We're gonna make a card today that uses a nice paper here as the background. This one, I'm gonna give you some tips for keeping a really busy paper from overwhelming your main image and your message. And we are going to use a standard die cut with this instead of the one that is the matching daffodils. So I've shown you a whole bunch of cards, and there's a link in the video description, or there will be very shortly if there's not already, a link in the video description for my other daffodil projects this month. You can find those as a playlist on the LovenStamps YouTube channel too. So, all right, so morning, Kim and Lisa, hi Kay, and Trish and Cheryl and Melissa and Pam and Susan and everybody else whose name is not showing up, Tracy. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna flip my camera down and we're gonna do some Stampin Blends today. We're gonna do some greetings from an alternate stamp set, also Sale-a-bration. And yeah, I think you guys will be excited. So let's pull this here. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. That's not helpful. And what we're gonna do here is go ahead and get started with a card packet. And this is actually one of the card kits that you get in the mail from me. If you order at least $50, you would get this one all die cut and ready to go like this. So you'll need your stamps and your ink, and then you should be in good shape. So I'm gonna pull out, okay, I can't get my stamps out. I trimmed my fingernails. I had to cut all my fingernails this weekend because I went rock climbing with my son at this amazing rock climbing gym. It's in Bloomington, Illinois, and it's fabulous. But it does make it hard to pull my stamps off a little bit. So not impossible, just tricky. And we're gonna need both of these and our butterfly, and I'll show you why. There are terrific greetings included in the Daffodil Daydream stamp set. But we're gonna go ahead and use some greetings from special moments. And the one that I love here for this, especially on today, this beautiful sunny day, is the one that says, "Hello, sunshine." And it is here somewhere. Here it is, this little guy here. And we're gonna go ahead and use this with our greetings, and there we go, get that mounted on there. Okay, all right, so now that we have our stamps ready, let's look at what we have here to work with. We have a card base that is Evening Evergreen, and Evening Evergreen is a perfect match for this paper. It really goes nicely with a lot of the papers in this one. It is one of the in colors, so a great thing to add to your collection if you don't have that one already. And then, like I said, we're gonna take a 4" by 5 1/4" inch piece of this designer series paper and pop this on here. Oh my gosh. Okay, Lisa says she's in Phillips, Wisconsin, and they're supposed to get 15 inches of snow in the next couple days. Well, Lisa, we had our snow last week. We had a snow day. I think the last time I talked to you guys, we were on a snow day. because we had snow and ice. And so maybe you don't want to hear this, but it's going to be like 55 degrees here today and like 58 here tomorrow in central Illinois. And it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, but today is sunny and gorgeous. So stay safe with all your snow. Enjoy it, I guess. This is that time of year in the Midwest, right? When we just keep going back and forth. So, all right, so we have our paper here, and rather than stamping our daffodils like this and die cutting with the matching, you can kind of see this matching shape die, we're going to actually use a piece of very vanilla cardstock that's cut with sort of a standard shape die. So when you're planning your stamping toolbox, this is the Stitch So Sweetly die set. It is one of my staples, and I absolutely love having it on hand for the stitched rectangles and for all these extra little shapes. So this one is this die right here. And this is a great die, or a great die to use when you have a stamp that either doesn't have a die, so like a fun shape that you're like, oh, that's really pretty, but I don't want to fussy cut it. You can use this trick, or if you just want to do something a little different and not use the die that's included. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop this over here, and I'm gonna leave room for our greeting on this edge here. So I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this in Memento Black, which is a great choice when you are using Stampin Blends markers. I don't know. That's so funny, Lisa, that you guys we were included in the snow. Did you get snow last week when we got it on what, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or something like that? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and use our markers. Now I've got So Saffron here. You could also use Daffodil Delight. The color is just a little bit different, but the steps are the same. So first step when you are coloring is always to lay a base of the lighter color. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over these here, go over the daffodils with my marker. This one's facing backwards, so it's kind of funny what you discover in an image when you go to color it. Do you guys have that experience? Like, oh, there's an extra flower in there. I didn't even see it before. And then I'm gonna take my darker marker and color on the color here lines, and then any place where there'd be a shadow. So the flower has like a cup in it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and color the cup of the flower, and then the little color here lines. Here's some more. And then where those petals go into the base, there's gonna be a little shadow there, so I'm gonna give that a shadow too. And then here's some color here lines, conveniently placed for us by the artist that's Stampin' Up. And then if you want to, you can go back with your lighter marker and you can color at the intersection to blend those colors. So where the light and the dark come together. I'm just gonna give it a teeny little color because I don't really actually wanna add that much more. All right, so those were our daffodils, super simple. The second step is to add the olive. And here you have to keep an eye on where the color where the leaves are and the stalks and where the background is. So I think, there we go. And pulling this in. So this is Old Olive, which is really one of my go-to greens. This one and Granny Apple Green, they kind of have different, I don't know, volumes almost. Old Olive is my little bit more subdued green, and Granny Apple Green is the ramped up green. So, all right, and then again, we're gonna add some shadows. So here, wherever things are, there's a color here line, like down the middle of this leaf, and this one, and then here where the daffodil is overlapping the stem, there's gonna be a little there, and there's a little there at the swoop as the leaf goes around the corner. And then one more little bit right here at the intersection. I'm not gonna do a lot there too. Okay, so really you can see how pretty simple these daffodils are to color. So if you're looking for something to try Stampin' Blends markers with, this daffodil set is a great one. And who couldn't love a bright color for spring, right? So, okay, I'm getting my bumblebee pad out, and I'm gonna ink up my stamp here, my greeting from Special Moments, Hello Sunshine, and I'm gonna go ahead and stamp this on here. Okay, so we have our greeting, and then this focal point is going to go here on our card. Now, I know that this can't go over the edge. That's okay, we're gonna fix that. And I'm gonna pop this on, and because this is so busy here in the background and so bright, and this is kind of a stark vanilla, very vanilla cardstock, it adds a little bit of a natural focal point already, but I want to make this even more pronounced. So we're gonna add a little bit more accent there. And so to do that, I have some strips of cardstock. So I have Saffron, which is the same color as our blend. I have Pear Pizzazz, which matches really nicely as lighter with Old Olive. And I have a piece of that Simply Marbleous paper that I have been in love with. This was the card that I made on, I guess we made this on Friday, right? With that Simply Marbleous paper. Somebody commented, I can't remember if it was YouTube or Facebook, somewhere, maybe Instagram. Somebody commented that they thought this looked like a satin kind of print. And I totally see that now. I really like that description of it. So that was a good one. But we're gonna just use a strip of it here. And we're going to kind of mix and match and layer these together here to give us kind of a, just kind of like an extra accent point, right? So you could layer them, you could overlap them, you could keep them kind of straight. I don't love all the straight edges on everything where the papers come to an end and they're just straight across. So I think what we're gonna do is go ahead and give those a little bit of an angle. But I do kind of like the way that they are crossed right now. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get these set just where I like them, and then we're gonna worry about the ends after. Oh my gosh, not having fingernails is so hard. It was worth it though, climbing was really fun. So they had they did a Boy Scout merit badge, and it was fun to see all the kids zipping up and down on the walls. So, okay, we're gonna add some ribbon here too. This is the Shimmer Ribbon that is kind of included each month when I do my videos and my tutorials. I kind of put a suite of supplies together that you can mix and match to make a group of great projects. So you know you'll use what you get because you'll have ideas for them. So the ribbon is included in that. And I love the way these little cross pieces work together. Okay, so without taking that apart, let's move this pad out of the way. Without taking that apart, I'm gonna go ahead and start adhering things. So one of the ways I find that is easy to do that is to just use strips of Stampin' Dimensionals. And so I'm gonna go ahead and pop a strip here across, and we'll just go ahead and stick it all down. So let's see, I think the saffron isn't really contacted very well, so we'll have to go ahead and stick that a little bit better. But this is gonna go here, and I put that kind of on the low side. So maybe I'll put another strip up here. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to end up with lots of like strips left from lots of edge pieces. So they look just like this from my Stampin' Dimensionals. Don't throw those away. That is great material that you can use on your projects for handy things like this. So, okay, now we've got everything trapped on there. And before I go ahead and stick this down, I'm gonna go ahead and trim those ends. So we'll just give this a little bit of an angle, get the ribbon out of the way. And I'm not gonna make the angles too matchy-matchy. We'll do kind of a variety and make some of them longer and some of them shorter. Let's see, I kind of like the marvelous paper, so I don't want it to get too short. All right, and then that is going to fit over there. So now you see how this is a really strong focal point with all of those greetings there. And then I'm gonna trim an edge here from our paper. A great trick that I love is to trim those edges on things so that you can get away with having a larger shape. That if it doesn't fit on your card, just trim the edge, and that sort of edge effect is a really great artistic move. I play that trick a lot. Okay, and then I'm gonna pop this here back on our card. Now we need to stamp the inside of our card. We have a couple embellishments to put in the front. So if you've seen this butterfly sitting here and you're wondering where that's gonna go, that butterfly is from the die set. Here it is right up here. And it matches the stamp, this little butterfly stamp here. So there's actually two butterflies in the set. There's this one here, which doesn't match the stamp, but it can be layered with this image. So lots of choices there. And then I have another butterfly to add to our project, but let's go ahead and ink this. Now I find if I've already die cut something and I want to stamp on it, my trick is to ink my stamp and to set it upside down. And then this is not match at all. Did I cut the wrong one? No, I've cut the wrong one. Well, okay, we'll see what happens. Like I just said, one of them doesn't match. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp some butterfly pieces on here and see. Oh, actually, that's kind of cute. I'm gonna go with that. So turns out that you can use both die cuts with the same stamp for just a slightly different effect. And I'm gonna go ahead and pop this. This is gonna go on our card up here. And then I really like to have some kind of, metallic bling or something like that. And I'm gonna clean my finger off here. So definitely a handy thing to keep your chamois handy for is avoiding when you've stuck your fingers in your ink pads. So we're gonna add that metallic thing here, and with it, we're going to add the brushed brass butterflies, and I adore these. They are super cute. They are just a little bit, they're flat, so they're, you might be able to get away without adding extra postage to your, okay, and clearly without fingernails, this does not work. So we're gonna use our take your pick tool and slide and stick here. But you might be able to get away without adding extra postage to your card. I'm not super sure about that, but they're a really nice embellishment. So I don't know if you'd feel them on the outside. Maybe if you add that protector sheet. You guys have maybe heard me talk about that before, but I often like to take an extra piece of cardstock and lay across the front of the card when I put it in the envelope. Whoops. So that that just keeps the envelope from getting destroyed by the embellishments. All right, and then last thing here, we're gonna go ahead and pop a mini Stampin' Conventional. Does it even fit? Is this too small for a mini? Kind of fits. There we go. A mini Stampin' Conventional on here, and go ahead and pop this on so that it doesn't fly off when I move my card, okay? So there we have our little butterflies. Now for the inside of here, oh, Trish said that was a great use of scraps. Yes. So all those scraps that you keep handy, let's see, I happen to have a basic white package here. So all these scraps of basic white are super handy to have, and then you can use them for this little scrappy focal point trick. So when you feel like they're starting to build up, start adding some focal points. So we're gonna use this daffodil here, and on the inside of our card, usually I include a neutral, so we could put a very vanilla layer in here, but I think it's kind of fun because our colors are so saturated on the front, and this is really our focal point. If we do So Saffron as our layer inside, it still keeps this really strong, actually. So it kind of draws your eye back to the front. So I'm gonna grab a daffodil here, and this is the other one, the single from the set, and I'm gonna pop a daffodil right there on the edge, and then put my card, let's see, we'll move our ink pad away so I don't stick my fingers in it again, and pop our layer inside. So again, this layer is 4 inches by 5 1/4 to fit inside our card base. So, oops, there's a little Stampin' Conventional bit there. So you know what? I'm gonna use my pokey tool here, and I'm gonna poke that back under. There we go. I don't know if you guys saw that. There's a teeny bit of Stampin' Conventional sticking out there, and now there is not. So, Roxanne says Oregon loves watching. Yeah, you guys out there on the West Coast, it's early morning for you. So glad you could join us. And I hope that everybody, whether today's a holiday for you, a work holiday or not, I hope that you guys are having a great day. But this is one of the 4 projects, well, 5 actually. I have 5 projects this month that I shared with you. So this one I already did the video for, and this was one where we did the Stampin' Blends markers, and then we did die cut, and so that is this stamp here. And this was a Z-fold card, which is quick becoming my go-to favorite because it doesn't require anything different. And this card you could actually do as a Z-fold card just the same as this one. So if you wanted it to be a Z-fold, you would fold the front of the Evening Evergreen layer back first and then put the designer series paper on, kind of like this. Does that make sense? So instead of having the Evening Evergreen like this, you would fold the front back and then you would put your DSP on the front. And here is another card. So this shows off the daffodils where they are die cut and reassembled. So those are a great way to use the dies too, because the dies layer here like this. And I have a treat packet. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. This was sort of my bonus, that little daffodil treat packet that I showed you right before Valentine's Day, I think. So you could do these for all kinds of fun occasions. Easter decor, table decor we talked about. And then I have one more card left to show you, and I don't have my sample, but it's kind of a quickie. But I will say that it definitely, the last card that I'm going to show you later this week uses this designer series paper here. And so you're definitely going to want to make sure that you get this in your cart to order this week before it's gone. So, all right. Let's see. Kim says, Kim's in New York. Oh, yes. The daffodils are poking up next month, she said. Yeah, I absolutely love when the little springtime stuff starts to come up. Snowdrops are first around here, and then crocuses, and then the tulips and daffodils. So springtime is coming. I know you're going to be some hurdles, backslides between here and there, but we'll get there. And in any case, this is a really fun stamp set to have on hand to just make some bright and cheery cards to brighten someone's day. So I hope you guys have a super fabulous Monday, that your week is off to a great start, and I will look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday morning with another project. So happy stamping, guys. Have a terrific day. Thanks for joining me.